So, hello everyone, and welcome to the last session, number 19, which is the last session for ISTQB training, CTFL. So, thank you so much for all of you for joining it today. And let's just have a recap of all modules. We have covered all these six modules which were part of ISTQB foundation level certification according to the syllabus 2018, and we have already covered it in last session, but today's session I just wanted to focus more on the exam structure and the techniques how to attempt the exam. In between of today's session, if you have any kind of question, please just feel free to post it in the Q&A section, and we will take up all the questions from there. Okay, so we will go through the format of the exam, how many questions you are expected to answer, and whether they carry equal weightage, etc. So I know that you all must be doing revision and practice questions, but apart from that, you should also dedicate some time to study the structure of the exam as well, because it's much more than just knowing that this exam is a multiple choice question. Okay, so let's just go through the exam structure first. So the exam would be of 60 minutes. The format we already know, it will be multiple choice questions. So you will have 4 options for each question, and you need to opt for one, and there will be a couple of questions, maybe 1 or 2, where you have to pick 2 options for the same question, but it will be explicitly mentioned in the question. So you have to answer 40 questions, and there will be 1 point for each question. So total marks will be 40, out of which you need to get 26 points, which is 65%, in order to pass this exam. There is no negative marking, which is good. So it means that even if you are not sure about any question, just make sure that you are not leaving it blank, you are answering it, because there is no negative marking. So there is no harm in just guessing any answer. If the exam language is not your native language, then you will be getting 25% extra time, which means instead of 60 minutes, you will be given 75 minutes. So that will be a bonus as well for those of you whose native language is not the same as the exam language. So this is an overview of the exam structure. Okay, so now we have been referring to K levels a lot throughout our sessions, and in the beginning we did mention what are K levels, but just to remind you all again that K levels are cognitive levels. They are also known as level of knowledge. For each ISTQB certification exam, there are different key levels. So for foundation, we have to go through K1, K2, and K3. So these are the 3 key levels which are examined in the foundation exam. So K1 would be remember, where you have to remember the concepts, terms, or keywords, and you will be asked questions about it. K2 will be understanding, that how well you understand the concepts, and maybe there will be a few questions where you have to give the reasoning, and you have to identify the correct reasoning for something, or an example of something, which will show that how well you understand that concept. Then K3 is the application. So all the concepts and techniques which we have gone through, K3 will focus more on the application of those concepts. So these are the 3 key levels which you will be covering in the exam. Okay, if we talk about breakdown of questions by K levels, so there are total 40 questions, which we already know. So from K1, there will be 8 questions. From K2, there will be 24, and K3, 8. So now if you see that K2 has the most number of questions, 24 questions. So you can then like plan your the way you want to do the exam yourself as well. That maybe if someone doesn't have a lot of time, and or maybe it's like they are struggling to go through the entire syllabus, then maybe even if you just go through K2, then it's guaranteed that you will be getting 24, provided they all are correct. And then there will be 2 more questions and you will get the passing marks. Of course, I will not advise doing that, because the aim of doing the exam is not just getting the certification. Of course, this is something you want to understand, you want to know everything. It will help you in your career going forward as well. So of course, it's advisable that you go through the entire syllabus and you should understand each and everything which we have gone through. But just in case, let's say if someone doesn't have a lot of time in the end to revise, then they can just make sure that they strengthen their K2 concepts, and yeah, they can go ahead with that as well. Okay, so using time productively, right? So the exams are under, we have to take exams under timed conditions, which can be quite pressurizing. So it's very important that we plan our time strategically. So we already know from the previous slide that how many questions are coming from each key level. So on average, if you break down that, then K1 and K2 questions should maximum take 1 minute. And K3, because they are more application-based questions, so a K3 can take up to 3 minutes. And these are average time, because maybe you might take more than 1 minute uh, on any question from K2 or K1, or you just might take just 10 seconds for any question. So this is like an average time. So if we go ahead with these average times, then if K1, we say that 1 minute spent on each question, then it will take you around 8 minutes. Then K2, 24, and K3, 24. So over here, if we take the total, then the total will be around 56 minutes. And in total, you are getting 60 minutes. And if you take the extra time, if you are taking the extra time as well, then it will be 75 minutes. So you have plenty of time. So don't worry about this, that you will not get enough time. There will be enough time. So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so after breaking down the questions by key levels, now I want to go through the breaking down of questions by modules. So we have covered 6 modules. So let's start with module 1. From module 1, these are all the learning objectives. And from module 1, 8 questions will be coming, from which K1, 2 questions, K2, 6 questions. So I have highlighted the K1 learning objectives. So we have covered all these topics. So we know that there are 2 K1 learning objective, and from these 2 questions are coming. In bracket, I have mentioned 1 keyword. This means that out of these 2 questions from K1, one will be around the definition of a keyword. So there are few keywords so there are different keywords actually in each module which we have studied. And for your convenience, what I have done, that I have created a list of all the keywords module wise, and I have also stated their definition as well, and I have added that in the group in the file section, so you can always refer to that. So I'll just give you a screenshot of that. So this is how it will look. So here will be the keywords from, let's say, module 1, and there will be definitions. So in that document, I have added the definition of all the keywords from all the modules, but there will be only module 1 and module 2 from which we are guaranteed that one question each will be coming around the definition of that keyword. So for example, over here in module 1, we are saying that there will be 2 questions from K1, and one will be a keyword, which means that one question for sure will be about the definition of any of the keywords. So over here in the screenshot, I'm just showing 11, but I think there are around 30 keywords from module 1. So which means that you are guaranteed that from those 30 keywords, there will definitely be one question. So you already know about that. You will be getting one question from that. And here are the examples. So I have taken it from the past sample papers, these examples, just to show you that how the keyword questions can come. So which of the following provides the definition of the term test case? And over here, what is checklist based testing? So these are the definitions of the keywords. So going back to this one, so we know now that one will be the keyword. So make sure that you are covering all the keywords from at least from module 1 and module 4. Okay, then from K2 we are getting 6 questions. So we have how many? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 learning objectives, and we know that from these 11 learning objectives, 6 questions would be coming, and all those 6 questions would be from different learning objectives. It's not like that if there is one question from this one, testing, differentiate testing from debugging, then there'll be another question from the same learning objective. No, this will be 6 questions for different K2 learning objectives. Any question over here, or should we move on to the next one? Okay, let's move to the next one. So next is module 2. In module 2, there'll be 5 questions in total, 1 from K1. So I've highlighted the K1 learning objectives. So we have 2 K1 learning objectives, and we know that for sure one question will be coming out of these 2 K1s. And then we'll be getting 4 questions from K2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 learning objectives from K2, out of which we are sure that 4 questions definitely will be coming. So there are no K3 questions in module 1 or in module 2. So we'll be having 5 questions from this module. Going forward to module 3. So there'll be 5 questions in total, 1 from K1. So we have 2 learning objectives from K1, and we know that one question will be coming out of this key level. Then from K2, we'll be getting 3 questions. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 K2 learning objectives in module 3, out of which 3 will be coming. And there is only one K3 learning objective, and we know that there will be a question from this learning objectives. So you can make sure that you definitely know what we have covered in this learning objectives, because one question definitely will be coming from that. So this will be 5 questions from module 3. Going forward to module 4, total questions will be 11. So the maximum questions we are getting in the exam will be from module 4. So of course, if I was at your place, I would focus more on module 4. And from that one, we know that one will be a keyword. So if you go through the learning objectives, you will not see any K1 over here, but over here it's mentioned that one question will be coming from K1 because it will be focusing on keyword. So just like in module 1, there will be keywords in module 4 as well, which I've already added in the group in the file section. And I think there are 15 keywords for module 4. You can go through that because from those 15 keywords, one question definitely will be coming. Then K2, there will be 5 questions coming. Okay, now this is very interesting. If you see, okay, no, I think that's for K3. Let's first go through K2. So K2 is 5 questions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there are 8 learning objectives, and out of these 8 learning objectives, 5 questions will be coming. So from K3, if you see over here, the ones which are highlighted are K3. So we have 4 learning objectives, but over here we are saying that 5 questions would be coming. So the way it will come is that we will have one question each from these learning objective, and there will be one additional question from either either 4.2.1, which is equivalence partitioning, or 4.2.2, which is boundary value analysis, which means we will have one question from equivalence partitioning, and we will have one boundary value analysis, and on top of that we'll be having a third question which might be either from equivalence partitioning or boundary value analysis. So I know that most of you get confused by statement coverage and decision coverage. Yes, those will definitely be coming. But if I was at your place, I will be focusing more on equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis, because 2 questions will be coming from any of these concepts. So in total, if we say equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis, so in total 3 questions will be coming from these 2 learning objectives. So make sure that you you know how to apply these techniques. Then from statement coverage and decision coverage, one question definitely will be coming from either of these, or maybe both of these, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 learning objectives, and from these 8, any 5 questions would be coming. So it can be that, okay, that we have 1 statement coverage, 1 decision coverage, and 3 from any other techniques. Or it can be like 1 statement coverage and there is no question for decision coverage, and rest of the 4 questions are from the remaining K2. So this is this is how the questions are divided. But make sure that the 3 questions which are coming from equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis, those are perfectly right. So you can practice a lot on these areas. Okay, so module 5, we will be having 9 questions. So from module 4, we had the maximum questions 11, and then the second maximum questions will be from module 5, which are 9. And we'll be having 2 questions from K1, which are how many learning objectives? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 learning objectives. From out of these 4 learning objectives, there will be 2 questions coming. And then from K2, there will be 5 questions which will be coming. How many K2 are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 learning objectives from K2, and out of which 5 will be coming. And each question will be from different learning objectives. And K3, so we have exactly 2 learning objectives for K3, and we know that 2 questions will be coming, means that for each K3 learning objectives, for sure 1 question each will be coming in the exam. And then the last one, module 6. So this is a small module, and only 2 questions will be coming from this. One from K1 and one from K2. So we have 5 learning objectives for K1, and we know that 1 out of these 5 will be coming. We have only 1 learning objective from K2, and from that, definitely 1 question will be coming. So this is the breakdown of questions by modules. And when you will attempt the question, the exam, you will see that you will be getting the questions in incremental order of the modules. So the exam will start with the first question from module 1, and then the last 2 questions will be from module 2. So the first question, which will be from module 1, most probably the first one will be the keyword itself. So it will be the first question of your exam, which will be from one of the keyword in module 1. And then I think around 18th or 19th question will be where it will be module 4, and you will get again 1 keyword. So this is the breakdown of the exam, and I hope you have got some insights from what to expect from the exam. Any questions so far? Okay, no questions. So let's move on to some of the tips. So first of all, read the question carefully. Especially pay the attention on the words which are mentioned in caps uh, in the question, like not, most, least, and there are some other keywords as well, like best, more, uh, because the assignments which I have checked so far, I have seen this as a very common mistake, that where you knew the answer but you didn't focused on these caps letters. So in the exam, these caps letters will be given most of the time. They will be given, which means that they have made, they want you to focus on that because they have highlighted it. They can't do any better from that. So you need to focus on that and make sure that when you are attempting the answer, you are taking into account of these words which are in caps, because this is a very common mistake which I have seen so far. Second one would be eliminate wrong answers. So there will be, if there are 4 options and you have to select one, then start by eliminating the ones which you know that for sure this can't be the right question, because it will make your selection of the right answer much easier. Then the third tip would be that read all options even if you think that you know the correct answer. So let's say that the first, you have gone through the question and the first option, which is A, you think this is the right answer. It's fine, but please don't rush. Make sure that you also go through the option B, C, and D. They might be wrong, and you were right at the first place, but you never know that when you go through the rest of the options, maybe one of those options click you more than the first one. So you want to make sure that you are going through all the options. And as we saw earlier, that you will be having enough time. We went through the average timings of each questions. So you will be having enough time, so you don't need to worry about that. And the last one is educated guess followed by a wild guess. Okay, so what does this mean? So one scenario is that you go through the question and you know at once you know that this is the right answer. That can be one scenario. Second scenario will be that you think that one of the options is the correct answer, but you are not sure. So you think that this is the right one, but you are not sure. So let's say you are 80% sure or 70% sure and you have few doubts. And then the third scenario is that you you don't understand the question at all, or you don't remember at all about that concept, and you have no idea that what of the options are the correct one. So you have to attempt the questions in terms of the priority of your knowledge at that time. So first of all, of course, you will go ahead with the ones you are sure about. Second will be educated guess, where you think that it's the right answer, but you have few doubts, but still to some extent you are sure this can be the answer. And then the third one will be the wild guess, where you have no idea that what will be the answer, but as you know that there is no negative marking, so you have to make a wild guess. But before that, the priorities need to come to the educational guess, and on top of that, the ones which you are sure about. So make sure that you attempt the questions in these priority order. Okay, so in the last, it's how to do the exam practice. So I know most of you are going through different online questions, which is good that there are so many online questions available, which is good for practice. But and most of you do ask me about different questions when you are when you come across any weird kind of question, or there are some cases where there are questions on multiple sites, the same question but with different answers, which makes you more confused. And I also came across few questions which you asked me which were from old syllabus. So please don't confuse yourself while you are practicing these questions from online sites. It's good to practice, but please make sure that you are able to identify that which questions are from old syllabus. And there are a few questions which are out of syllabus as well, because there were a couple of questions which I was being asked, and even I was not sure that what's the answer of that, because I was surprised that I didn't come across this topic at all in the syllabus. And for a second, I thought maybe I missed something. And then I went back to the syllabus of ISTQB Foundation and made sure that this was not even there. So these kind of questions will only confuse you. So please be careful when you are doing these questions online and you are aware of the changes. Like for example, in few of the questions, you will see the term this standard like IEEE standard 8 to 9, but now in 2018 syllabus, you will not see any question where this standard is mentioned, because this standard is replaced by 29119. So these are just example of few changes which have been done in 2018 syllabus. Like in 2018, they have added the Scrum methodology and continuous deployment concept, which was not there in the earlier one. So please make sure that you are aware of these changes. And if you are doing any ad hoc practice, then you are aware of these things. Ideally, I would recommend to, if you have to do practice questions, then I would recommend you to go to a reliable site, which is istqb.org, because that's the only authentic site, which is ISTQB official site. And over there for foundation exams, they have given 3 sample exams, and they are exactly in the same format which you will be getting in your real exam. So if you have to practice, then I would suggest practice those questions, because there will be 3 exams and you will be getting in the same format, and you will get to know that how many marks you are getting out of 40. So if you have to do any online practice, I would recommend go to the site and download those sample exams and attempt that. Then at the end, mock exams. So those of you who have been doing the session with me, you know that we will be starting our mock exams practice from 16th, hopefully. So the ones who have already finished all of your assignments, we will be doing mock exams, and then we will evaluate what are your weak areas, what are your strong areas, and then how much you are ready for the exam. And those of you who are still going through the older sessions, it's fine, you don't need to rush, because they will be following mock exam sessions as well. We will be doing it hopefully once every 2 months or so, or if there are lots of students, then maybe we can do once in a month as well. It depends that how many people are there. But the mock exams which I will be giving to you will be in the same format as you will be getting your real exam. So that would be a good practice as well. So we'll be doing two mock exams, and then I told you that there are 3 sample exams on ISTQB site as well. So you will be getting in total 5 exams which you can practice on. So I think that will be more than you need, and it will give you more confidence and a good idea of your preparation. Okay, let's see if there are any questions. Okay, so Pallavi. Okay, so Pallavi, I'm not sure when you have joined, but yes, we have come to an end of our session. Do you have any question? After this one, I will upload this recording as well, so you can definitely go through that. But if you have any questions so far, please let me know. Okay, so this was a bit about exam practice, and then at the end, I just want to give the link for the Facebook group, because in the earlier recordings, I do mention the group a lot of times because I was assuming that you all are in the group, but there were a few people who actually saw the videos and they were a bit confused when I was referring to the group again and again during the session. So they were asking me about the Facebook group. So here is the link for the ones who are not already part of the group. So I would suggest, if you are not already in the group, please join that, because along with this ISTQB training, of course, we will be doing many more trainings as well, which the group is already aware of that what's coming next. So I would highly recommend that you join our group and be part of the community. All right, and with that, we came to an end to our today's session. And let's see if there are any questions. So Pallavi, you're asking website name for ISTQB practice test. Okay, it's istqb.org. It's the official site of ISTQB. And in that, you have to go through because of course there are different certifications. So if you go to the download section of istqb.org, you have to go to ISTQB foundation level exam, and in that you will get the sample exams. So Pallavi, you remember that I did give you one of the sample exam, and it was from there. So I already gave you one exam, and then you can practice 2 more from that. So okay, so anything else? Any other question from anyone else? Okay, so no questions. So I assume that everything is clear, and I wish best of luck to all of you who are planning to take your exam shortly. And of course, we will be doing a lot of practice in our mock exams as well. So I'm sure you all will be fine. Don't worry about it. The reason of going through the structure of the exam was to ensure you that it's not hard. And we have gone through each and every topic during our training sessions. And even after that, if something is not clear, I'm there to help. Let me know, and we'll make sure that you can maximize your chances of passing it at the first attempt. So let me know if there is any kind of confusion. So yes, best of luck to all of you once again, and take care of yourself. I'll speak to you later. Bye.